Hi everyone, it's Chanel from Complex Simplicity, and I'm sitting here as usual, blogging and vlogging on the website. And I thought of two things that I wish that I learned how to do from a child that has affected a certain level of my life as an adult. And the first thing is, I always wish that I knew how to swim. My husband and I, when we travel and go to different islands, places, all I can do is sit at the edge of the pool and put my feet in, or sometimes I'll be brave enough and just put my body, stand up in the water. But, I think that it sucks that I don't know how to swim. My husband, he's a great swimmer. He'll be in there swimming, doing laps. He'll go to the gym, swim and do laps for exercise, so I wish that that was an ability that I had. The reason why I don't know how to swim is because growing up, when I was young, about 6 or 7, I was diagnosed with epilepsy. And my parents got the strict instructions to make sure that I wasn't going swimming because, God forbid, if I was in the water and I had a seizure, I could end up drowning. So my parents definitely complied with the instructions. And when you're younger, that's when you're like fearless. It's easy to learn how to swim and those kind of things because you're not as scared as you would be when you're an adult. But I think that I'm going to set for one of my life goals within this next year for me to maybe go to the YMCA and take swimming lessons, because at the end of the day, it can be a life or death situation. Swimming is a skill that can actually teach me how to survive and how to, save my own life, so to speak, or someone else's. So, I'm definitely going to do that. Growing up, I would always be at the pools. Me and my best friend would go, to the pool as teenagers, to scout out all the cuties and, flirt with the guys. And I remember always being fearful that they would push me into the pool because they've been known to do that, a lot. Y'all know how y'all got down as, teenage boys, pushing the girls in the pool, wanting to throw them around, feel them up. And one time that happened to me and I panicked and, I was like, scared, but then of course, the gravity in the water kind of brings you back up. So that's definitely something that I need to face, that fear, and learn how to swim. Another thing that I wish I knew how to do that I don't is roller skating. As a young kid, maybe when I was about 5, I remember my parents bought those Fisher-Price skates. Do you remember those, y'all? That's where you have your sneakers on and you put your feet inside the Fisher-Price skates and strap them. And then, that's kind of a way to learn how to roller skate when you're little. I think, of course, being how I had epilepsy, probably was the same fear. If I were to have a seizure while skating, I could bust up my head and get hurt. Growing up in the church, we would always go to the skate key and all of that, but I would have to be on the sidelines because I didn't know how to skate, and which was kind of whack. I wanted to be out there getting my roll bounce on with everybody else, but I didn't know how to roller skate. My brother was more fearless than me. He didn't know how, but he would put on skates and go out there in the rink, and even if he bust up his tail all night, he was going to still give it a try. Me, I was more like, no, I'm scared. I don't want to fall. I don't want to hurt myself. So my birthday's coming up in a few weeks, and I've been saying to my husband for years, I think it would be so dope to have like a roller skating party because, we know some rinks up where we live that are still around. And he's like, babe, I've tried to teach you how to skate, which he did before we got married, maybe a year or two, maybe 2-3 years before. He took me to a roller skating rink and tried to teach me, but I was just too terrified, y'all. It's like something that's hard to do when you're an adult because you realize if you fall, you can break your arm, your wrist, your leg, your ankle. Like, the stakes are crazy. You could really get yourself hurt. And I really, really wish I knew how to roller skate. I may not give up though. I think I may still try to learn. So those are the two things that I wish I learned how to do as a kid, because as an adult, I'd be out here swimming like nobody's business. Even at the gym we go to, they have a great pool. My husband's always in the pool swimming, to get his exercise on. I wish I could swim because I would also be in that pool doing laps and trying to get even leaner. So I just encourage you, if there's certain things that you wish you learned how to do as a child, don't necessarily give up, especially if it's like swimming, something that could potentially save your life. I would say don't give up and maybe try to learn. We could do this together. So hit me up. Let me know if there's certain skills or things you wish you knew how to do, or that you learned from a child. You wish that you learned from a child that you don't know now. And that can affect some level of your life as an adult. I don't know why, it was just a thought I had tonight, but I said, why not do a vlog about it? I thought it was pretty cool. All right, y'all. Good night. Hit up the website. Of course, if you see this, you probably already have, but continue to hit up the website, complexsimplicity.weebly.com. Once again, as I always say, thank you for all the love, and until we meet again, good night.